I clicked the goddamn link like a fucking trained monkey. There's a link! Click it!
Hail, salutations, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another G.N.A podcast episode, Games, Nerds, and Alcohol, where, unfortunately, Blue Shark 45 is your host and kind of talks in the third person. So, we thought we weren't going to have season... we don't do anything important. Nothing important.
I thought it was we drink and talk about things.
I like to play video games.
We do these things. We do not do a good job at locking Cecil to his desk so he can finish his MBA, though. We failed miserably at that.
I guess I should have put my pants back on then, because I thought we were doing something completely different tonight. Hold on.
We actually entice him to play video games instead of study.
Hey. I finished my papers for this class. This is a celebratory day now.
Yeah, congratulations on that, man.
Cheers to that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you just heard him, our lovely host, who's not the host this episode, Cecil Xavier. Cecil, how you doing, sir?
I'm the host with the least? I'm great, man. I have made a mistake, which we will get into when we get into what's everybody drinking. But other than that simple yet powerful mistake, I'm great. How are you feeling?
I feel like we've all made mistakes when we agreed to work 40 hours a week.
Accurate.
And we're also joined by Daymok. How you doing tonight, Daymok?
40 hours? 40 hours was the people that get paid hourly. I get fucked on this salary thing. They're like, well, you know. But I think I'm okay. I'm still alive.
Yeah, that 40 hours is a minimum requirement for your slavery. And ladies and gentlemen, you heard him earlier. We've got Ko on the show. Ko, how you doing?
I'm doing good, and I'd rather have the salary making a higher wage than working hourly and making a lot less.
Yeah, but when you're hourly, you get paid time and a half. When you're salary, you reach that point where you're considered well compensated and you don't make overtime. So you put in that 80-hour week and it just sucks.
Only if they approve for the overtime.
Well, then you just don't work it if you're hourly, because then you don't get the overtime. You don't have to do shit. You don't do it. But when the NSA releases a fucking emergency patch and everybody's patching systems, it's fun.
Yes, it is.
I did the salary gig for a while, and I'll eventually get back to it, because that's just the path that I'm on to go back towards it. But, yeah, dude, I don't relish going in and working 80 hours a week for 6 months straight, and then hoping that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and then there not being.
Yeah, it's not fun. And we're also joined by Cyberblood. Cyber, how
no,
you
you're
doing,
not.
bud?
You're not joined. Nope, I'm not here.
See, I told you I'm going to cut this podcast to 45 minutes so we can get back to the talk.
No,
well, that makes my editing.
Yeah, that's about it.
Well, we may or may not be joined by Cyberblood. But let's get on to the more important topic of tonight. What are we drinking? Let's start with you, Cyber. What are you drinking?
Well, because we're doing this on a work night, which I go to work at the show, I am not actually drinking alcohol, but I am partaking of a very nice orange vanilla Coke.
Ooh, what's the attack like?
The attack is like a creamsicle. That's the attack.
You mean like an orange rubbed one out in your mouth creamsicle, or?
Oh yeah. And like finished off with a scoop of vanilla ice cream.
I love it.
I have to say, I did find a Georgia orange Coke at Publix the other day, or I guess about a month ago, and that was an amazing soda.
Georgia peach, I think.
Georgia peach. You're right. Right. So they didn't have it this time, but I picked up a California raspberry, and I'm gonna try that
nice.
soon.
Well, Zyra, we're sorry for once again ruining your night by making you come on a podcast sober.
That's all right. This weekend is going to be a fun weekend where I can drink and let loose and have some fun and maybe record it for the show.
So I'd like to point out that I am drinking enough alcohol to compensate for Zyber not drinking any alcohol.
Yeah. Cecil is my proxy tonight. I am borrowing his liver, his mouth, his esophagus to drink my
I volunteer as
portion of
tribute.
Well, I'm glad we're keeping this show balanced. Speaking of balanced and equations and such, Ko, what are you drinking tonight?
I am drinking dragon's milk. Love it, and can't get enough of it.
Gone back to your favorite. It's a stout, isn't it?
It is an imperial stout. Yeah.
Very nice.
It just hit me. If you're perfectly fine with processing dragon's milk, then you will be perfectly fine processing White Castle.
We'll see about that. 'Cause Arby's does not do me well at all.
Dude, I think the last time I had a White Castle burger, it didn't do me that good.
That's why you need to come up for this weekend, man. Seriously.
Well, I will admit the last time I had a White Castle burger, it may or may not have been previously frozen.
Oh, that is sacrilege. Don't worry.
Yes.
This weekend, we are going to be hitting White Castle, and your anus is going to be more abused than that time in Tijuana.
Well, it sounds like you guys are going to have a good time. Daymok, what are you partaking in this evening?
So I have this can, right? And I'm not quite sure. It's all different colors that I can't quite see, because I'm colorblind. But the catchphrase is, pack it in, pack it out. Wild Basin. Boozy, sparkling water, baby. It is lemon, agave, hibiscus. Let's see how it tastes.
It sounds like a colon cleanser.
Oh, God. The attack is bad. It's fucking bad. Okay.
Sparkling water.
Hey, no, legitimately now. No, hey, it's smoothed out to a really good taste. That's not so fucking bad.
So it's like eating somebody's ass. It's horrible at first, but smooths out to a nice taste?
Yes, it does, man. Like, you gotta get it over with in the first thing because the blowjob that comes after that is amazing.
I don't know. I've never found blowing anyone amazing, but, I mean, to each their own.
Oh, man. No, I cracked it because the girlfriend bought it, and it's not... The attack is awful. Like, fucking just disgusting. But it mellows out, and it's actually pretty good on the aftertaste. But to make sure that I'm doing shit right, I'm on my third double dog, so, I'm like 12%ers in.
It's like,
You're chasing it with Devil Dog.
Yeah, I got this really crappy drink here, but I've also got Devil Dog right here that I've been pounding into all night.
That's how you play Tarkov, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. All right, Cecil, we already know what you're drinking, but why don't you inform our lovely listeners?
Well, I made a slight mistake. So, as you all know, and anybody who's listening know, I don't drink my drinks, especially my mixed drinks, out of a standard glass. I drink it out of this gargantuan 36-ounce, I don't know what to call it. It's a bucket. That's what it is. So I poured a 12-ounce can of cherry Coke in there, and then I proceeded to fill it up straight to the top, to the point that I had to sip it. That's how full it was, with Cruzan rum. Now, my mistake was that rum was 151 rum. So I got about halfway through this drink, and I realized the error of my way because the attack was kind of like being kicked in the gut by a mule. It was bad. So thankfully, I've added another whole 12 ounces of Coke to this glass, and now it is actually smoothed out to something that I would say has I would call it a mild kick in the testicles versus that full-on steel-tone boot.
At least the blowjob afterwards good.
I don't know. Damn, I'll tell you later. But yeah, I'm drinking Cruzan 151, and I only recommend this if you just want to get drunk as quickly as humanly possible.
Yeah, that stuff burns.
What about you, Blue? What are you drinking?
So, the Blue Moon wasn't in the fridge. So no Blue Moon tonight. And I'm trying to turn over a new leaf and actually finish all of my liquor before I go out and buy more liquor. Instead of building up this giant collection of liquor, I'm going to just finish up what we got, and then I'm going to buy something different. So, who got this for me? My buddy Sean got this for me for, I think, my 27th birthday. And it was a jar of Old Smoky's apple pie moonshine, which is really sweet.
Nice.
And not very potent. It's like 40 proof. I added a little bit of lemon juice to that, ice, and mixed in some Jack Daniel's Gentleman Jack. And it actually tastes pretty damn good. It's got a nice little apple pie taste to it. It's just kind of like mellow, and it's not overly sweet. And then it's still got that nice, strong liquor taste that you get from drinking Gentleman Jack. So that is my concoction for the evening. But if you really want some good apple pie moonshine, then take cinnamon sticks, brown sugar, concentrated apple juice, and stir it in a pot and simmer for like 30 minutes, and then take that and mix it in half of it with a half of a jar of like grain alcohol, like 100 proof grain alcohol, and let that simmer for like a month or two, and that shit's good. And it's really strong. It's like, you just start drinking it, it's like drinking apple juice that'll get you really fucked up. But moving on to State of Games. State of Games, where we talk about what games we're playing or pontificate on games in general. So let's go ahead and get started with you, Cecil. What's your State of Games?
I've actually been playing them.
Congratulations.
Woo! I actually so I recently passed my final paper for the class that I'm in. So I've got roughly 40-ish days to complete my studying for the test, which is great. It means that I am in a good spot. I'm in a comfortable spot. I don't have to freaking fret like I was. So went up to my brother's house. He lives in Maryland. Went up and visited him, and actually it's the first time I've got to see him since Christmas. So chilled out, and he actually got me a game for Christmas. And I decided, hey, you know what? I passed my paper. I'm going to chill out, and I'm just going to play some games. I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to go crazy. So I was playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and I really dig it. I'm not super, like, so far I'm not super compelled with the character. The main character's name is Cal, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not super impressed with him so far. His backstory is it's kind of I don't know, it's kind of bland. For those of you who've played it, he's he survived Order 66 and was able to escape. I haven't gotten to the point where it tells you how he escaped and all that stuff. I'm hoping it gets more interesting. But the character himself is very, very two-dimensional. There's not a lot to him. Even looking at like Starkiller seemed like there was more going on right off the bat. He was Vader's apprentice. It seemed like there was more going on, but this they're just I don't know. There's not that much going on with him. Opening right up, he's like, he's a former Padawan, and you feel like you get the sense that he's supposed to have, like, you just think former Padawan should have some Force powers or know how to use the Force, and really the dude doesn't know how to do it. And like, you spend the rest of the game remembering, and I'm throwing up air quotes as I do that, remembering all of his different Force powers, and it's like I don't care if I was a friggin' Jedi at any point in time, that shit would be like riding a bike. I wouldn't have to like run up to a wall that I can't move and be like, oh shit, I gotta push this wall down. I hope I can remember it. No, I would be like full on fucking, oh, that's how I do it. Okay. So I've been playing a bunch of that. I've actually been playing a bunch of Tarkov with the other couple of the other yokels in this podcast that we're dealing with right now. Tarkov, Escape from Tarkov. That's a fun, terrifying, intense, hardcore, holy shit micromanagement game. It's fun. It's definitely a game that I would have to devote a lot of time to really get good at. But I enjoy chilling out, especially with Ko, because I just say, hey, Ko, there's somebody over here. And I hear pop, pop, pop. And then there's nobody over there. It works out really well.
That's because he breaks a fucking game, dude. He's not allowed to play PvP games.
I'm sorry. I'm not even the good one. Vintage is much better than I am at this game. Like, I have lost my FPS skill over the years. Vintage is much more accumulated to this game than I am, or acclimated.
All right. Yeah, acclimated maybe, but like, we're literally sitting there and I'm like, oh, there's somebody over there. Pop. Well, I took down one guy. Okay, I think there's a pop. Did you take down him too? Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I'll just stand here and just, I don't know, stroke the barrel a little bit. Keep it warm.
You got the guy in the window that I could not see. So
yeah, the only reason I got him because you were on the opposite side of the building, and I said, "Hey, there's somebody in that window," and I took a couple pot shots, and I actually hit him.
No, I'm gonna give you this. I cannot see like people in dark windows, and like when I see dark windows like it is in Tarkov, it's like bane of my existence. Like, I am a dead man.
Okay, well, I'll focus on the windows. You focus everywhere else. How about that?
It sounds good.
Sounds like old age is getting to you, Cecil. You're just not as fast as you used to be.
Listen here, Sonny. My eyes are as good as they were when I was 15.
Not talking about your eyes. Talking about that reaction time of yours.
Oh, shit. Actually, my reaction time is actually significantly better than I was. It's just I can't fucking see the damn things. Like, literally, Ko will be like, there's 2 people over there. I'll be like, where? Pop, pop. I won't even see them drop. I'm like, dude, I don't see them anywhere.
You know, I think that's something that's in a lot of these games. Like, you talk about, like, Halo. I really think, like, Red and Blue really stood out in those maps. And then you start talking about, like, Call of Duty. Like, yeah, it was a little bit harder, but not as hard. But you put me in Battlefield, I'm like, fuck, I can't see anyone.
Dude, like, okay, so there's the thing. Battlefield, I could see everyone. Like, I could see the sniper up on the hill 4 miles away. I'm like, yep, I see him right there. He's twitching. You get a Tarkov, and I can't fucking see a thing. I think it's... You know what? I think it might be the Unity engine I just have an issue with, because everything in the goddamn Unity engine, I can't see a goddamn thing in.
Is Tarkov Unity?
I'm pretty sure it's Unity.
Unity!
I could be wrong. And I'm happy to be wrong, because if it's Unreal, then... Well, then it's just Unreal I suck at.
No, who Unreal is Ubisoft's main engine, I believe.
Oh, it is
Or no.
Unity.
Yeah, and everything
they're
like
using
even 7 Days to Die, I can barely ever see those people unless they're right on top of me, and usually then I'm dead.
And the Unreal Engine is Epic's engine, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I think Ubisoft's now got Snowdrop or something like that. Or maybe
Something
that's
like
massive.
To be perfectly honest, man, the Frostbite engine has got me. Like, I anything coming out with Frostbite engine, I will probably buy.
The Frostbite engine is the most beautiful engine I've ever seen.
But
Second to, or I guess, and then the second would be the Unreal Engine for me.
well, the newest Unreal Engine. Okay, so I haven't seen the newest versions of Frostbite. The newest versions of the Unreal Engine are really great. But I like how physics is processed in the Frostbite engine. I like a lot of different things that are in the Frostbite engine. I've always liked the Frostbite engine. I feel it's a really, really robust, polished engine. Not to say Unreal isn't polished. Unreal is pretty polished too. I'm drunk. Ignore me.
Yeah, Damox giving me the signal to play you off stage like it's the Academy Awards, because we got to get this show done, folks. So
Yeah, I want to play more Tarkov, goddammit.
Damox, what's your state of games?
I'm playing Tarkov, and I want to get back to Tarkov. Yeah.
Noted. Moving on. Ko, what's your state of games?
Yeah, so earlier this week I picked up Path of Exile again. They were doing a new event that just released, I think, a few days ago. And on one hand, it's nice. They updated the Necromancer class, which really needed it. But on the other hand, 2 days later I got bored of it. So I moved to Tarkov, and we're playing Tarkov now.
Very nice. And how about you, Zyber? What's your state of games?
Well, my state of games since the last time has been more Pokemon Sword. Pretty much just Pokemon Sword. I am trying to fill out my Pokedex before I get the expansion and add 200 more Pokemon. Yeah, right now I'm sitting at 313. Yep.
Fuck you.
I've been really diving into it, doing a lot of trading and breeding to get certain Pokemon. Though I kind of hate it that both versions of Mr. Mime that I have, I cannot breed it out to get a Mime Junior. That pisses me off. Yeah, I'm also doing a thing that I read about, seeing how like accurate it is on breeding a say American Pokemon with a foreign Ditto to get shinies. I'm trying out that theory. But yeah, it's just been pretty much Pokemon Sword.
Nice. Well, I played a little Pokemon yesterday, and thanks to Zyber,
yes, we did
I
some
now
trading.
have 4 or 5 new Pokemon. So I'm at 140 something. I'm still only 4 gyms in. I'm on like Route whatever it is, 4 or 5. The woods. That's where I'm at with all the mushrooms. And then
the fairy gym.
That I've been doing some what do you call it? Real life gaming. I went to a national park in Georgia this past weekend with my fiance. So I've been doing more real life and work and less gaming, unfortunately. But I got some Pokemon in, so that's always good. But what we're going to talk about tonight is we're going to talk about some gaming news. It's a little old, but as some of you may have seen, people are getting a little pissed. Some people aren't. I mean, it just depends on how you look at this thing. Personally, I think it's always a good thing, and also I wasn't truly like financially invested in this game because I've got so much crap that I got to get done that I don't need to buy another game right now. But Cyberpunk 2077 was going to be out, I believe, this month. Now it's coming out in September. And, April. April's when they promised it to come out. Along with a bunch of other games, too, I believe. But now they've delayed it to September. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Hey, rather polished than release a turd.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm disappointed that it's not coming out, but I can respect the fact that they want to polish it back up.
How about you, Daymok?
He's fumed, man. He's fumed.
The game was set to come out the day before my birthday. I had plans to buy a new graphics card to play it. I upgraded to 32 gigs of RAM already. I am ready to fucking go. I want to do it so bad. It was like the gaming god smiled upon me for the first time in my life. Was like, here you go, Daymok. It's just for you. And I was super excited. And I had a feeling that they were going to delay it. But you know what they did? I got pissed on. The gaming gods pissed on me. They're launching it. They are launching it on the girlfriend's birthday, meaning I can't play it for the first couple days. CD Projekt Red has fucked me.
See,
I'm not a fan.
See, hold on. That's what you get for one too many dick jokes, right?
I guess so. But damn it.
Don't worry, Daymok. I'll beat it before you get to play it.
Actually, I'll be done with my MBA, so I'll probably beat it before you get to play it.
Oh, I hate you guys so much.
Yeah, I'll probably jump off of Pokemon to play it and beat it before you do.
And I'm sure that I will also get the game on that same day like the rest of you guys, and I will beat it the same day just because, I've already beat The Witcher.
I mean, fuck's sake. I say we all stream it and just tease the fuck out of them.
Oh,
Just
it's gonna be a spoiler fest for Daymok. He's gonna be sitting there. He's gonna be like Neo, dodging all those bullets, trying to dodge all the spoilers that are gonna be thrown out there. He's just gonna be like la 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 la, and we're gonna be it's gonna be thrown at him.
Yeah, he's going to be a ghost for the week of September that it releases.
Oh yeah, he's gonna go into the guise of it's my girlfriend's birthday, so I'm spending time with her, and they're air quotes up. If anybody can't, hear those air quotes fingering in the air there, he's gonna be like all that, and we're gonna be like, yeah, you're just trying to avoid us, so you don't hear anything about Cyberpunk.
Hey, I'm a romantic at heart, and the reason that I'm not doing Cyberpunk is, because the girlfriend's birthday, and I give her a full week and a half,
You keep telling yourself that, boss. You keep telling yourself that.
It just takes him a week and a half to get it up. That's why it takes a week and a half.
Boom.
He's just sitting there going, how the hell can I drug her and keep her unconscious for a couple days so I can get some game time in?
Really encourage that binge drinking, my friend.
Ooh, I may have an idea. I could send the wife up to spend time with your girlfriend.
No, birthdays are important. Birthdays are important.
They are. They're important for friends as well.
Does this mean the multiplayer mod is getting added into it or whatever?
I have no idea.
Yeah, we're all going to be playing it simultaneously. I mean, Ko is going to already have it beaten and then just walking us through the whole thing, but we're all going to be playing it together.
You guys say that, but it's going to be Shadow. Shadow's going to play it and beat it really fast.
Yeah, you know what? Where is that son of a bitch?
He's playing Nintendo Switch and specifically Assassin's Creed.
Oh, no. No. He was over here not too long ago, and he is playing The Witcher on Nintendo Switch because it's like the 90th time he's beat The Witcher game, or Witcher 3.
I'll have to say, I have never beaten The Witcher. I like the game, but I haven't beaten it.
Okay, but if you look at Shadow's Facebook posts, it's all screen captures and videos from Assassin's Creed.
That and some toilet fairy game that he said he was playing. And I forgot the name of it, but now I want to play the toilet fairy game, even though they said the toilet fairies were only like 5 seconds of the game.
Toilet fairies?
Yeah, it's like some Zero Dawn or something on Switch. I don't know, some RPG. It's all spacey, but it had toilet fairies.
Toilet fairy sounds like something from like South Park, like the fractured butthole.
Yep.
That is the fractured butthole.
And you are traumatized because you saw your dad fucking your mom.
I don't know why I just did the comic book guy from Simpsons to do a South Park thing. I don't.
Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it.
Too much 151. So what about you, Cecil? Where do you stand on this Cyberpunk 2077 getting delayed?
You know, half of me says let it stew for however long it needs to, because I would rather a complete full game come out without bugs than anything else. The other half of me...
with less bugs.
Well, yeah, with less bugs. The other half of me is saying they said, they gave their word it was going to be out on this date. And they were pretty adamant that it was going to be out in April. And now they're going back on that. So I'm really torn. Logic in my mind says it's the best thing to do to hold it back. Even, let's just for argument's sake, say there's not polishing that they have to get done. Let's just say they're delaying it because they know the remake of Final Fantasy VII is coming out right around the same time, and they don't want to compete with that. Logically, in my mind...
That's fair enough if they're going on that logic, because...
No.
Yeah.
No, Cyberpunk is way more anticipated than a Final Fantasy VII remake. People are very upset about the Final Fantasy VII remake because it's changing the story quite a bit. It's not going to be a Final Fantasy VII remake. It's a re-envision.
Understood. However, it's still a very, very anticipated game. It's been anticipated for, 20 years?
Yeah.
So
I didn't know it was coming out at the same time.
So there's a lot of hype around it, and so logically in my mind, holding off to get out of that just cluster that is going to be that game, because that game is either going to be there's going to be no middle ground. The Final Fantasy VII remake is either going to be the most amazing thing for Final Fantasy fans, or it's going to be this shining turd that everybody's going to stomp on and light on fire. One of the two. Like, there's not going to be. I'm going to call it now. You're not going to find people are going to be like, oh, this is kind of okay. It's just going to be like, oh my God, this is the best. And oh my God, this is the worst. That's it.
My thing with the Final Fantasy, though, is the segments that they're releasing it in. As long as the segments are long enough to appease a fan base, I say cool with that, and cool with Cyberpunk, doing what they're doing. But if someone could get through that little segment in 5-6 hours, okay.
Yeah, my big thing about me, the thing that's leaving a bad taste in my mouth is I'm a big person of, hey, look, if you give your word, you stand by your word. And they were... Everything I read, they were really adamant. We're releasing on this date. We're releasing on this date. I know games always get pushed back. I'm not an idiot. Games get pushed back all the time. In fact, I don't think I've ever believed anyone when they said our game is going to be released on this date. Hell, let's take a look back at probably one of the most anticipated games for me, the 13th Doll. And that got pushed back. It first was January of 2019. Then it got pushed back to summer of 2019. And then it got pushed back to Halloween of 2019. You know what? I know that shit like this happens. It still irks me when it happens. If a developer says we're shooting for this date, it's one of those it's one of those things when you think about it in the grand scheme of things. But you got to take a look at it all and say, okay, well, if they're going to release this game now and it's going to be buggy, then that's the expectation that we're going to have for fixes. If they say, "Oh, we're going to fix this next week," it's not going to be fixed for 4 weeks.
But at least we were able to get the developer on for the 13th doll to appease your nerd boner and get you.
Yeah. No, I've got nothing against the 13th doll. I'm just saying, even with a game like that, it got pushed back, and that's a game for me. I was more hyped. I was more hyped about the 13th doll than I am about Cyberpunk 2077 or the Final Fantasy VII remake. But that's because that's personal to me. That's the hype that I had going on. And even then, I was still frustrated with that getting pushed back. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Ryan came on the show. He was a really cool guy, and that totally appeased me of like, all right, these guys needed the time. And even when the game was released, and Ryan, if you're listening, man, all the love to you. Even when the game was released, there were still several bugs in it that you just couldn't get until you finally released it to the masses. I mean, there was some shit that I found that I'm like, well, that probably should have been found in Q&A there, but, but that's what I'm,
Right. I mean, you look at the team they have working for them, and
yeah. Compared to CD Projekt Red, like, dude, what they accomplished, fuck, man, I give them full-on props for doing what they did. It is downright amazing. They recreated Stoff's Mansion downright to a T, and they made it fully explorable, not on rails pre-rendered shit. They made it fully explorable. That to me is incredibly impressive. But back to again, Cyberpunk 2077. CD Projekt Red is not exactly a tiny team. They've got a fairly good amount of good amount of people working in that company. So when they say that they're going to get something out, I kind of have an expectation that they're going to have it out on the time that they say. And pushing it back, yeah, it's a little bit of a burn, but I don't know. I know I'm hopeful, and I'm always for let's let them, let's release a game when it's ready. I'm always for that. But as I said, the other half of me is, look, if you say you're going to do it, then stop the scope creep. If you looked at it and said, yes, this is our target date, this is when we're going to get it, something must have happened to creep that out there as far as it did. And if you're letting that happen, then okay. Like, if they delay it again, I will probably not pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on release day. So if it comes up to, midsummer or August and they go, hey, we're delaying it again, I will probably back off and say, you know what? That's telling me right there that there is something fundamentally wrong, and I should back my way out and just say, okay, let's wait for this to be finished. Kind of like what I'm going to do with every single Bethesda game from here on out. Whenever the hell they release, I'm not going to pick them up on release day. I'm going to back my ass out and then go, okay.
Yeah, I think it should be something that they need to look at. And this is not just, Cyberpunk 2077 and CD Projekt Red. Any developer needs to take a note from the book of Blizzard. No matter how much we don't like their current projects or whatnot, they say, we're going to release it when it's ready. Whether we don't like or whether we do like, Overwatch or Diablo 3 or the next World of Warcraft expansion, they are solid games that, for the vast majority of it, they don't have utterly game-breaking bugs. And that's what I think the majority of game developers in the industry currently need to really do. They need to say, we're going to release it when we can, and we're not going to give you a set deadline. So that way, you don't have that disappointment saying that we're going to come out in April and then disappoint all the people who have prepaid this game ahead of time. And that's just is what it is.
Well, I say just look at two games. One being Kingdom Hearts 3. How many times did that get pushed back? And the same thing for Death Stranding. I got a refund from Death Stranding being pushed back. It was in pre-order. So it's like, okay, excuse me. Have I repurchased Death Stranding? No, I haven't. I probably won't until the price drops or it's on sale or something. But Kingdom Hearts, well, I did get that eventually when it came out. But hey, pushbacks happen.
Yeah, but with both of those games, though, neither did Kojima Productions nor did Square. Neither one of them said, we're going to release on this day. They just said, we're working on it. And they released little teasers and little shit like that, but to keep the hype up. But they didn't come out and say, we're releasing on this day. They just said, we're working on it. And it'll come out.
Well, yeah, they gave projected dates. This is a projection. It's not confirmation. But they still give projections of when they wanted to have it out.
Yeah,
I don't remember Kojima Production ever giving a projected date. They always just said it'll be ready when it's ready.
Kingdom Hearts gave 3 projections.
Kingdom Hearts, yes. But I don't think Death Stranding did.
Yeah, I don't know. Kojima was kind of... He wasn't really clear about it.
Well, the man doesn't speak English, so, I mean, there is that.
That doesn't fucking matter if he speaks English or not, honestly. Now, what really does piss me off,
and
though...
this is where our listeners get dropped off.
There we go. The co-founder and head of the studio at CD Projekt Red has said, we are currently at a stage where the game is complete and playable. But there's still work to be done, and that's what pisses me off the most. Fuck it, you know what? I already expect, as much as I hate it, I already expect the game to be broken on launch with certain things. Give me the fucking game. Let's play it already.
But dude, that right there just speaks volumes about the gaming community that is today. And you know what? I share your same point of view. I am so used to early access games now that if a game's not broken, I don't even notice. Like, I'm playing the game, waiting for something to break, and it just doesn't. And I'm like, well, fuck it, whatever. But like that screams volumes that we've been trained as a gaming community to just expect this shit, and it seems normal.
You know, it was okay when it was Valve and they were doing the Greenlight program, they were doing the early access games. But now that AAA developers have been using all of their games as early access, even though they're launching at full price, it's fucking garbage. And yeah, sadly, I am trained to do it. And I think Cyberpunk 2077, as long as it's playable and complete, I would deal with the bugs. And I hate that I would compromise, but I just want to play the goddamn game.
I don't know, that just, that's the thing that just, I don't know. I guess that's the thing that grinds my gears, is that we're just so conditioned now to accept. And I understand games are more complicated. And I can already hear people listening right now screaming at their radio or wherever the hell they're listening, going, well, games are way more complicated now. There's a lot more that goes into them. Of course there's going to be more bugs. Yeah, you know what? There is. But there are companies out there that have already proven that they can release a game that's fairly bug-free. I'm not saying completely, because no game is completely bug-free, but fairly bug-free, and release a quality experience versus what we get now, which is just, it's literally just a constant battle of buying early access games.
Yeah, thing though is when you buy a game and you just want to play it, but you're stuck in like a week's worth of, we have to patch this, we have to patch that, we have to patch this again.
See, I'm okay with like a random patch every now and then, because you know what, shit like that happens. It happened way back in the Sierra days, back in early, King's Quest and Space Quest. They would find things that would be broken, and they would release a patch. And I mean, hell, I can remember where you had to reach out to Sierra, tell them, hey, is there a patch? And they would actually send you the patch on a disc that you would install to patch your game, because there was a game-breaking patch that needed to happen if you did a certain number of things right. So, I mean, like, patching, it's not like patching is something that's new. It's always happened. It's just now, because it's become so accessible, people just, they just expect it. It's just become part of the norm now, which drives me absolutely nuts, because if gaming companies, if developers just spent that extra time, spent less time trying to cram every fucking thing into a game, if they just spent more time on developing what they had, and then maybe adding extra shit on later as whatever patches that they want to further support it, that would be acceptable. But they just keep trying to cram more and more in, because you know what? We got to have crafting in the game, and we've got to have you be able to customize every single weapon that you have in the game. We've got to have all the different skins in the game. You know what? Fucking go back to the goddamn Halo days where you could pick red and blue. That was it. Those are your customizations. Why the fuck do we have to customize everything?
Yeah, people want certain aspects. They want to have that more unique immersion into their game to make it their character.
But why can't we just go back to the day where a game was an actual artistic extension and you played what they wanted you to play, versus bowing down to, I gotta cram everything I fucking can in. That is a great goddamn video right there. I love that GIF. Awesome post.
Well, you can. I mean, they have indie developers that are making bare bones games. Some of these, what's it called? Last Train or something like that. Here, it's a zombie game. You go and find survivors. I think it's mostly in Russia. At least the characters are Cyrillic. But it was, bare bones, side scroller, up and down, game that you're shooting, driving around on a train, trying to survive. And so they make games like that still. It's just these big AAA titles like CD Projekt Red's titles and Anthem and Destiny and The Witcher. They're appealing to as many people as possible because that's their market. Their market now is mass consumers. And it isn't just to get you. It's to get someone like me to go, I never did finish The Witcher, but maybe I will try CD Projekt Red's new title just because it's a new thing. Or someone who's never touched it. I never touched The Witcher. And then I started looking into it because I was learning all this interesting stuff. And I watched the YouTube videos about the first two games, and then I bought the third.
But my point is that they're attracting everybody under the sun. When do you just draw the line and say, let's actually make our game versus trying to sell it?
Yeah, hype is I think people overhype video games nowadays. It's excessive. It really is overly excessive. And sometimes I just wish that it was a surprise, for example, with CD Projekt Red and releasing Cyberpunk 2077.
Dude, I can remember when there was a single ad in Electronic Gaming Monthly that had a sword with a single blood drop hanging off of it. And underneath it, it had the words in some weird, funky Gothic script that said Blood Omen. That's all I saw about the entire game. And I said, fuck, I have to get that game. That game then spawned, 5 other games after it? And almost every one of those games that came after it were fucking amazing. Not to mention that game itself, which was Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, was fucking amazing.
Yes, but the thing is you still have games that are, they have given into the masses. Like Call of Duty has given into the masses. Call of Duty plays to the loudest group of people. If you're bitching about being able to jump across walls, then all right, fine, we're going to get rid of that. Or, you want all this customizations, you want it all to be the same. They deal with that. And then you get these other games. I feel like CD Projekt Red, in a sense, is trying to, but not giving in entirely. And then I feel like the other side of the spectrum is you'll get someone like Kojima, who's very secretive about a lot of stuff. Like, there wasn't a lot of information about Death Stranding. I watched that dang, forget the name of that song. I loved the song that he has where it's like, they're showing the beach. I would think it was his E3 release video. It was the beach. And you know, like they played this song, and you see Norman Reeves pick up the baby and hug it. Like, that hyped me enough about the game. That's all I needed to see. Daymok.
So, not to derail the conversation too much, because I know we're on a wonderful roll of things, and you know, it is what it is. But the newest announcement that I am looking at on my phone that was just sent to me, Half-Life Alyx is coming out in March, and Valve had decided Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, and Half-Life 2 Episode 2 are now free. Grab them on Steam while you can. Have a good time.
I already own them. I paid full price for them.
I don't.
Yeah,
I have them as well because I'm a huge Half-Life fan, but I figure the listeners, maybe not everybody has them.
Good call.
And, I mean, that's Half-Life 2 plus both episodes 1 and 2. That's totally worth it if you haven't played it.
But just to touch on what you're talking about with Kojima. Kojima is a developer who makes the game the way he intends to make it and releases it the way he intends to make it. And I've heard the man talk in interviews. Well, let me rephrase. I've heard the man talk in interviews, and then I've heard the person translating for that man talking in interviews. And he's basically, in a nutshell, said, look, if you don't like the fucking game, don't buy it. Plain and simple. I made what I wanted to, and that's what it is. Because people bitched and complained about, what was it? Metal Gear Solid, I think 3 to 4, about removing a bunch of stuff that was in 3 and adding a bunch of stuff that they didn't really care about into 4, and how 4 was just like really long FMVs. And he's like, look, I made the game that I wanted to make to close out that chapter, and if you don't like it, don't buy it. Plain and simple.
Isn't that like the whole reason why Kojima got in the whole feud thing with Konami over the Metal Gear stuff, and then like went off and did his own thing?
Well, yeah, they wanted to continue the Metal Gear line because, of course, it was a moneymaker, and I'm pretty confident that Kojima said, I'm done with this. Like, I've already told my story. This is all I had.
Yep.
But anyways, I'll rant. If you let me, I'll rant so long about this. So I know you had another topic you wanted to talk about.
I mean, I'm not well versed in these things. That's one of my biggest downfalls. Is this computer components stuff. So Nvidia GeForce RTX 3080, RTX 3070 leak specs with up to 20 gigabytes of GDDR6 RAM.
All right,
take my money now.
I have to make one complaint here. These leaked specs, where the hell do they come from? Because I see leaked, and again, if you can't see me, audience, but I'm doing air quotes. You see these leaked specs all the time, and I don't know. I can't get behind them. I can't trust them.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. The order is going to be Blue, Cecil, Co, and then Zyber. Ready? To be fair, Tweaktown is a legitimate source of leaks when it comes to hardware.
Yes, they are.
As soon as I see the word leaked, yeah, I can't get behind it. As soon as I see the word leaked, my brain goes back to that old Rush song that says, "Show me, don't tell me."
but they have been right quite a bit of the time, and that's why you kind of want to pay close attention to their articles versus like other random publications you might see, and that's the catch.
I can find a guy. I can find a guy
though.
who's been right on the on every friggin' horse race for the past 10 years, and I'm still going to tell you not to trust him when he says bet on this horse.
No, look at it. Their articles are very short. They're very to point. They're what the technical aspect is, and that's about it. And that's what Tweaktown has always been very, very good at. And their leaks are normally fucking top.
But see, now I could look at that and say there's not enough detail there to tell me that this leak is true. Like you say, short is good. I look at it and I go, there's not enough data here to tell me that this is right.
Yeah, I gotta agree with Cecil there. If it's not in Forbes, I can't trust it.
Oh, I don't trust Forbes at all.
Fuck Forbes.
Yeah,
EA with a B.
When did they replace EB Games magazines and Nintendo Power?
What, Forbes did?
Yeah, when did they replace them?
Obviously today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
okay, so on the flip side, like if these specs are true, okay, and I'm going to put a big fucking if around that. If these specs are true, God damn it, take my money. Like I will give, here it is. How much? It's yours.
Yeah, and I would say, with any leak, regardless of how accurate they have been in the past, always take it with a grain of salt. Just because they're leaks doesn't mean they're always 100% accurate, and they're going to be what they are leaking out. So I am looking forward to it, especially if it is, let's say, a 25% cut on the current iteration with the 2080 Ti, for example. If the 3080 Ti comes out and it's $200 to $300 less, I'm buying it. Simple as that.
Oh yeah, absolutely, hands down. If it comes out at that price point, I'm trading my 1080 Ti and I'm getting one.
So real quick, what the hell is GDDR6?
It's new. It's brand new.
Yes, it's a type of RAM. It's the memory that's on board.
It's
okay.
Graphical memory for graphics cards.
Yeah, it's actually a specific DDR memory designed for graphics cards. So it has a very high throughput and it's tuned for graphics input and output.
So if it's true, 20 gigs is probably the highest we've seen on any individual card at the consumer level that I'm aware of. I think 16 is usually the highest we'll typically see.
Dude, if it's 20 gigs, that means that it will literally be more than most people have in their standard workstation.
Right, exactly. Like that is those specs are pretty insane.
Yeah, I mean, those specs make my nipples hard. I'll be honest.
Like diamond hard.
Yeah, in all honesty, because it looks too good to be true, makes me feel it's too good to be true. And that's why when I look at it, I go, I don't know how well I can believe this.
Well, then let's wait to see it actually get printed in black and white by the actual creator, Nvidia.
Nvidia has printed in black and white, and I posted the article months and months and months back where they said that they can no longer sustain $1,200 graphics cards, and they are going to go back to the $700 price point. And they have also announced that they are really pushing forward with the 3080, the RTX series, now especially because Intel can push the ray tracing on integrated CPU graphics. We'll see what they can really do. I expect them to come out with something soon because AMD keeps hinting that they got a big product line coming up, and whether or not you like AMD does not matter. AMD is crushing the market with its lower-end graphics cards right now.
I saw that the 2080s have dropped considerably in price, which is pretty crazy.
And I would like to point out that even though Intel states that they can do the ray tracing, we have yet to see it. And the last time Intel released a graphics card, they have not released it to the public.
Oh, Intel has already completely released it to the public. They did it with the World of Tanks, and they were going forward with World of Tanks on it, and they have full ray tracing on integrated CPU graphics. Now, is it the best performance? Not really, but they are showing that it is capable, and they are doing it with software rather than hardware, which is where Nvidia kind of got bent over.
And that's understandable. On the software side of things, I can see that. But I'm talking, there are rumors that a graphics card coming to the consumer audience from Intel, and that is what I'm worried about. Intel has never released a graphics card. It has always been an R&D, and it has always failed. So until it comes out, I really am hesitant to seeing what Intel can do in the graphics market.
Well, one thing I just looked at, I mean, looking at these specs, so for the GeForce RTX 3080, you're talking about 10 to 20 gigabytes of GDDR6, 320-bit memory interface. I mean, looking at these specs right here, this looks like a $1,200 video card. And from what Daymok was saying, they're talking about bringing this out at $700. I just don't like. That's why and just the things stacking up are just either screaming one of two things. Either one, this is utter bullshit, and I cannot believe these, or two, Nvidia has been overpricing their cards so horribly that I will never buy from them again because they're so horribly overpriced.
They've always overpriced their cards.
Welcome to the fucking world.
No, but that's not accurate, because I have bought Nvidia cards that were not as overpriced as what we're talking here, that were premium performance cards when I got them.
Yeah, a 6800 GT. Okay, I got one of those too.
But Nvidia has cornered the market on GPUs for well over a decade now. Like they own it.
And that's my problem with it, is that if these specs are coming out and they're going to give these specs at $700, that tells me that the cards that they were selling for $1,200, that they literally were just laughing as people bought them, like literally hysterically laughing.
And I have to give it to them at this point. And this is why I didn't buy the 2080s or the 2000 series, is that they could do it without an issue. Because who's their competition? AMD didn't release what was the newest, like the 500 series until
the
like
5700 XT, which has been outselling Nvidia like 3 to 1.
Exactly.
Every other card before that. Every other card before that has been a refresh of the exact same architecture from AMD for well over a decade. And that's the issue, is that they don't have competitions. They've reached to a point where they didn't need to innovate well beyond their competition. And at the same time, it had gotten so bad that they could just start taking advantage of the market, especially after the bit mining. That was really what set it off.
Oh yeah, that's done now. That's completely and utterly done. You're not mining Bitcoin with graphics cards anymore.
So, in a business perspective, that works out. Like I have to agree with them. That was a smart move on them, and now they're going back down to the normal prices.
But that makes me not want to buy from them.
Yeah, I can see that. I agree with you on that. But at the same time, that's why I didn't buy a 2000 series. I was like,
that's why I didn't. I got my 1080 Ti for I think $600. It was like $627 at the end of it.
Yeah, I bought a
$657, something like that.
Yeah, I bought a 1080. I didn't even go for the 2000 series, even though I love to be the enthusiast when it comes to computer components. But I saw this coming. I was like, I don't want to purchase the $1,200 card, because it's only a 12 to 20% increase
for way too much.
Yeah,
and that's where I'm looking at. So if this card does come out for however much it is, I will probably go side red from that point on. Even if they come out with shit, I will probably still go down that route. And I understand why you don't want to. I fully get it.
I'm gonna pay the premium, regardless of the fact whether or not they've hurt the customer in the past. They, in terms of performance, is It's the best place to go. If I'm going to spend top dollar on a graphics card, I'm going to go Nvidia.
So that's where Nvidia is having to lower the price because the new AMD Radeon, the Navi XT, is supposed to compete directly with the RTX 3080, and the AMD has come out and said their new Navi XT is going to be at $499 on their high-end card, and it's going to compete with Nvidia's top card, which means the 3080 Ti, you're looking at $700-800, which is a reasonable price for that card if it's going to smash the Navi.
You think the AMD Radeon is going to compete with the Titan RTX?
The Titan is a different card. The Titan's not meant for gaming legitimately. It's meant for, like, it's a crossbreed card. You can game on it, yes. You spend a price tag on it because you get the name Titan. It's not exactly always the best. The last Titan that they released was not the best Titan they released.
No, but in terms of performance increase from the previous generations, you're correct. But it is the best consumer grade card on the market for for gaming. So in that sense, I want to see when both the Navi and the RTX 3000 series comes out. I want to see the performance comparisons, and then I can make my judgment. But honestly, I'm going to lead towards Nvidia on this.
Oh, absolutely. When it comes out to the 3080 Ti, that's probably the card I'm going to get unless they can show me fucking rock solid proof that the AMD card is just smashing the Nvidia card or keeping up with it for $200 less.
Right.
But
if it's only $200 less and I get 10 to 15 frames, 20 frames more, I'm going to take the RTX. I'm going to take it. You know, if it's,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it's only like 5 or 6 frames more though, I don't know I could go down that route and see like that's worth the money.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. Absolutely.
And that's the things that I've been reading is that's what I've been seeing is that we're talking about a 5-frame difference.
That is what all the articles are posting towards. That is what AMD is touting. We got to see it when we see it because they've touted it before. And granted, the 5700 XT has been smashing the 2060 super cards and keeping up with it across the board, and it's $150 cheaper. So why the fuck are you not buying one of those cards? But yeah, if you really want high-end performance, right now the only person to buy it from is Nvidia. But we shall see. I mean, look what AMD is doing on the processor market. We all talk shit about it. I know, Ko, you really don't like the processors, but you seem to be the minority who don't like the processors when it comes to the sales numbers. They're crushing.
They have gained like a 3% market share, I think, or maybe 5% market share over the past 2 years, I think, since Ryzen has hit the market. That's a small drop in the bucket, and they have a long way to go. But that's a huge increase from where they've been at in the past. I'm still waiting to see what happens when Intel switches over. But yeah, wait and see.
Yeah, my next thing is after I get my car fixed, putting some scratch aside to rebuild my rig because I got to up some stuff. Seriously, I'm going AMD. I'm going full on AMD. I'm probably going to do a ITX build, but yeah, I'm going AMD on it.
Well, look, full disclosure,
man.
I have bought Nvidia cards since the 90s. Everybody else is going like Voodoo and shit like that, and once Nvidia came out, I was all for Nvidia. In fact, I bought Nvidia cards in every rig I have made since then. But business practices where they're literally just, making money is one thing, but when you're literally doubling the price of what your cards are worth, that's where I look at it and say, look, you know what? I can't back a business that's going to take advantage of their customers like that, because that means I'm being taken advantage of, and I don't like that. And that's where I'm upset. So if these cards come out for, I mean, looking at this card, this looks like $1,000 card to me. I would pay $1,000 for this card if the performance is where I envision it to be. But if they come out and they price this card at $700, that will probably upset me.
I gotta say, before I got the Alienware, my last Nvidia car was a BFG OC.
Oh man, I still have a GPU.
I still have that
PSU.
card. My 768 BFG OC. I still have that. But I actually liked the Sapphire card I got after that more than BFG. So, like, yeah, I don't know. I kind of have to side with the Radeon over Nvidia in that aspect.
I gotta wait for Cecil to get back, because he just said that he's always bought Nvidia even over the Voodoo cards, which was 3DFX, and 3DFX smashed the Nvidia TNT cards into the ground until they went under completely. And then Nvidia bought 3DFX and actually became a powerhouse of graphics cards. Until then, they were utter shit.
My first video card was a Voodoo card.
Dude, I had a Voodoo 2, and my next door neighbor had the Voodoo 2, or maybe had the Voodoo 3, 3000s, where you could actually do the very first, like, SLI, where you put two of them in there, and you bridge them with that fucking ribbon, and then bring them out. Yeah.
Yes, that a hard band that clipped down onto them.
I would like to point out that it's not a 50% increase in terms of the cost it was for the cards. You're talking about $800 to $1,200. That's a 30% increase, maybe a little bit more than that. I can't say that they're taking away 50% of your income, or they're increasing the prices of it by 50%. It's more like 30%, and even then, that's a great business decision in terms of my opinion. Where the market was and what they could do. It's kind of the same boat with Intel. If you don't have a competitor to really push your limitations, go for it. At this point, who's going to stop you? Like, if you're going to keep increasing the performance of your CPUs or your GPUs and so on and so forth, and there's no one to fight against you, it is what it is. In a business sense, again, as a consumer, it sucks. Like for example, RAM. RAM didn't change, but it went up to like 3 times the price, 4 times the price, 5 times the price, depending on what brand you purchased at what megahertz and so on and so forth.
Now, when you talk about RAM and you're talking about graphics cards again, right? We are seeing RAM fall in price again, and it's fantastic. Like, legitimately, I just bought a new set of 32 gigs of high-end Corsair RAM, right, for less than $200. And that's fantastic. When I was trying to buy an extra fucking 16 gigs, it was looking at $300 for the RAM that I had before, and that was G.Skill Ripjaw X. Now we're looking at solid-state drives. Of course, the silicon. The price of silicon is dropping drastically. The high buffer memory or high bandwidth memory, whatever they're advertising for the new GDDR6, it was GDDR5. AMD had it first, Intel and fucking Nvidia got it second, but it doesn't matter. It was a higher cost than the card. We're seeing reduced prices across the board to get these graphics cards in home. And now that Cecil is back and I can see his open mouth attentiveness that he has, why the fuck did you think that buying an Nvidia TNT card was better than buying a 3DFX Voodoo card ever?
Because I won it for free when I played in a tournament.
Okay, I will give you that if you got it for free. But the only thing that
That's how it all boiled down. Is I won it for free, and it was like way better than everything I had at the time. And then the next one I bought after that was, I forgot, but I started buying Nvidias after that because I was like, damn, I like this performance.
Well, after the Voodoo 3s, that's when Nvidia bought 3DFX, and 3DFX made the Voodoos, and that's where Nvidia actually started getting really good, is after they bought the Voodoo technologies.
I would like to point out that the increase in silicon costs for memory also affected the GPU market. GDR4 or 5 still were affected by silicon, so the increase in prices there could very much have affected the GPU market.
Oh, that is absolutely correct. And we saw that. We saw it with the Bitcoin mining. We saw it with the RAM going up and all of that. The effect of silicon and all of that. It was a major facility that got shut down, and I don't know the reasons for it. But yeah, now it's back up and running. There are multiple silicon factories up and running. They're doing everything because of the crazy drought that they had, and we are seeing the prices plummet for that type of RAM and memory going forward, especially solid states.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's where we're going to end this show. Cyber, where can they find you at?
Well, if you're really so inclined to find me, you can find me hanging out in the G.N.A Discord, our Twitter, our Facebook, as well as Cyber Games, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Mixer, which I haven't done in a little while. Trying to still work out some things, but yeah. You can catch me in those places. If you have suggestions for some of my Let's Paints, pop them in what is that? Twitter. Yeah, pop them in Twitter.
Awesome. And Co, where can they find you at?
They can find me on the G.N.A podcast Discord or occasionally on Twitch TV /CSX Experiment.
Gotta watch those Tarkov playthroughs, people. And Damok, where can they find you at?
I pretty much exclusively troll the Discord, and that's about it.
And we feel so special that you do exclusively do that. Cecil, where can they find you?
Pornhub.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you can definitely find me there as well, but I wasn't trying to advertise that. If we're doing it, it's small dick 46 92 81.
Because it was already taken.
Are we sponsored by Pornhub now?
You can find me on Cecil vs. Games on Twitter, Cecil Xavier everywhere else, Ustream, Mixer, Twitch, Facebook. If I'm out someplace, let me know. I'll head up there. Yeah. Oh, and the Discords. Fuck, every Discord. Yeah, I'm all over the place. Just if you can't find me, let me know. I'll go there too.
Awesome. And ladies and gentlemen, you can find me, Blue Shark 45, on G.N.A's Discord, of course, but you can also find me at twitter.com/BlueShark45. You can also find me on TPC's Discord, Mulehorn Gaming, Bullets and Beers, and Ultra Super Mega? Yeah, I'm on there too. But if you're looking to play games, hit me up on our Discord, and maybe we can play some games. We hope you enjoyed this evening's show, and we would greatly appreciate it if you would rate, review, and subscribe to our show, because it helps other people like you find this wonderful gem on the internet that I don't have to tell my coworker about this show.
Rough, unpolished again.
Okay, this rough, unpolished gem, so we don't have to spread the word by mouth, but we can spread it through the interwebs. You can also listen to our show on iTunes, Google Play Music, Spreaker, MyTuner, Your Listen, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and just about anywhere else you can find a podcast. But if you can't find us there, be sure to let us know by tweeting at us at our Twitter at G.N.A Podcast, where you can click on our pin tweet to join our G.N.A Discord, or you can drop us a comment on our Facebook by looking up G.N.A Podcast. We also are a part of a special game purchasing service called Humble Bundle. Ko, why don't you tell us about some Humble Bundle?
Humble Bundle is a game purchasing service that we, G.N.A, have partnered with. You purchase games like you normally would, but with a twist. You choose which part goes to the publisher, to Humble Bundle, or to charity. You can give it all to charity if you want, or none of it. It's your call. Throw that question mark partners equals G.N.A podcast at the end of your Humble Bundle link before you buy it to let them know that we had sent you that way. So far, we have raised $0 for Humble Bundle this month with our partnership.
Yes. And our charity that we sponsor is Extra Life. So if you like helping out kids, go ahead and slide that slider at the bottom all the way over for the charity.
Holy shit, Ko, you nailed that. Like it was almost like you were reading from a script on that one. Damn.
Right? Because I didn't even throw it in there.
It's kind of like Cecil sent it over there with a hotkey.
He probably did. We have something called Game Show Night that we do once a month on the first Saturday of every month at 2000 hours.
Was that a question?
Yes, that's a question.
Fuck. Yeah,
I think it's 20.
It's 8 or 8:30. One of the two.
Okay,
yeah, about 2 weeks away.
Yeah, it's the first Saturday of every month. We do it on Mixer.com/G.N.A podcast, where you can join in and you can play Jackbox games with us, where you have a chance to win game codes. And
Cecil?
And I now have Jackbox Party 6, so it's Murder Party 2 time, baby!
Awesome. And also, do you like scary things? Do you like things that terrify you or are so horrible that make you burst out laughing and they're just terrifying because they're so horrible? Well, you should come out to Horror Movie Night on the second Saturday of every month, hosted on our cast.gg network. You can find the link for our Horror Movie Nights in our G.N.A Discord. And do we have the shows, or sorry, the movies for...
Well, right now it is looking like I will be streaming the entirety of Three Extremes. It is a Japanese horror compilation. So, yeah, that might be what we're doing.
Awesome. And that is hosted by Cyberblood. Do you like anime night? Well, we love anime nights. Join us Wednesday nights normally. This week, a Thursday. But you've already missed it if you're listening to this episode. Every Wednesday night at 19:30 Eastern Standard Time on cast.gg. I, Blue Shark 45, host Anime Night, where we get together as a community and we watch an anime together. We're still voting on what we're going to be watching, so stay tuned for that.
La Blue Girl.
Probably. Or something inappropriate for work or something like that.
I literally said that just so I could see Damock's eyes roll into the back of his head.
And also, we have a website where you can find us at
Why has no one mentioned that Blue Shark is so fit wearing that So Fit Athletics t-shirt, baby? What the fuck is wrong with everybody in this show?
You are all silently jerking off. Leave us alone, man.
Yeah, so was I, dude. Don't worry. I fucking jerked off like 6 times already. My dick hurts, but it is what it fucking is.
At least he's wearing his own shirts now and not his little brother's shirt, because literally, I could not get harder then.
Oh yeah, I mean that was just horrible. But guys, I really gotta go. I gotta poop before I go to work.
or GNApodcast.com. Have a good night, everybody.
Oh, take care.